Xiong taking on Tasiken Jumatai in the strawweight division. This is going to be a good matchup between two very tough strawweights. Now, we have the global rule set on this one. That means it's 3 5-minute rounds. The bout is judged in its entirety, not round by round. No kicks to the head of a grounded opponent. As John Lai, the referee, gets us underway.
No strikes along the spine. Don't grab the shorts. Don't grab the ropes. Touch gloves if you want. Back to your corners. Sure.
All right, in the blue corner, coming out in the red, white, and blue shorts, we've got Tasiken, and coming out in the red and black shorts, we've got Xiong. Misha Tate alongside me here at One Hero Series. What do you think of these two gentlemen? How can the fans look forward to in this opening bout?
Well, I think both of them are very hungry, so I think we're going to see a good action-packed bout, but you never know. I mean, I think that's the exciting part about martial arts is we don't know exactly what we're going to see, right? That's why it's like opening a box of chocolates or something. Every time I sit down and watch an event, I feel like I'm just in for a night of surprises. That's part of the reason why I'm such a fan of the sport.
Referee John Lai calling for a little bit more action as the scramble ensues. We can see Xiong getting nice and tight in that body lock, trying to take the back, picks up Tasiken, sends him trying to take him for a ride, but he doesn't quite have the positioning here as he tries to wrap around to the back, drags him down to the mat, and this is where he's going to have the advantage. He just come from a grappling background, and Tasiken does come from a wrestling background, but we can kind of see a little bit different style from him here.
Yeah, I was really interested to see that Chai was so successful in those wrestling exchanges. I guess you look at the backgrounds and you wouldn't expect that Chai would want to engage in that kind of clinch work given the wrestling background of Tasiken, but look here, you know, this is why it's mixed martial arts. You know, not every sport always directly translates, and now we have Chai on top, delivering a bit of ground and pound himself.
Prove your position.
Tasiken, you can see he's stuck here in half guard. He has one leg that's kind of holding him right there in the position. So you can see Chai, he's trying to push forward a little bit into this position, but he's actually very comfortable. What Tasiken needs to do is he needs to try to scramble out of this, but he's flat to the mat there.
There we go, a nice explosion by Tasiken. That's what he needs to do. Preferably not give up his back in the process, though. Good scrambles by these guys.
It's a very back and forth match, but you can see a little bit of the inexperience when Tasiken's on his back. So maybe his wrestling background, again, wrestlers don't like to be on their back. They prefer to be on top. But Kai is very aggressive and at least initiating a lot of these grappling exchanges. He likes to punch right into the clinch and get tight with that as he lands a nice little overhand right there.
I noticed in some of those early exchanges, good knees on the brakes and whatnot. So Chai's definitely proving that he's very well-rounded. Good exchange.
You can see Tasiken's very light on his feet, bouncing up and down. I don't know if that's nervous energy or that's just kind of his style, but Chai's pushing forward, trying to put his back up against the ropes there. He looks like he's a little bit tentative just to initiating the striking because Tasiken's landing when those striking exchanges do occur.
The referee telling him more action, and they oblige.
And they do every time. I think they're just a little bit hesitant. This is a big opportunity. There's so much at stake for these young prospects. The chance to catapult themselves into superstardom by getting into, you know, the One Championship elite roster. So it's definitely something that all these guys look forward to getting their hands on.
I do appreciate when a referee will dictate and push the pace, you know. These guys have such a tremendous skill set, and you just love to see when they actually get those punches off and get those kicks and get the grappling exchanges. That's when it makes it very exciting.
But Misha, you've competed at the highest level. Do you listen to the referee if he tells you to engage, if he's telling you to go, or do you stick to your strategy and your game plan?
I definitely listen to the referee's warning. I heed them heavily because he's in charge of the bout. You know, he could definitely stop it at any time, or nice kick. You know, he can also take away points, and that can be a big change when the scorecard is tallied. Beautiful takedown by Chai. That was just a nice double leg flare. Ended up in side control here.
And you could see what Chai was trying to initiate appreciate there. He was looking for the hands combinations, and then he was waiting for Tasiken to come back at him, and that time he
Look
went
at this, Mitch.
right
I think
into
he
it.
might hop over to the other side here if he can get across past that leg right at. He may get that head and arm choke. If he chooses to switch sides with his body there. See how he has that one arm up there? If he connects. All right, chooses to let go.
You can see Tasiken just a little bit rough on the ground. Not quite as experienced when he has his back on the mat. We got about 30 seconds in this one, but he did a good job of getting back to full guard there as he's controlling, trying to control the posture as he's wrapping the Chai's head up to make sure he doesn't posture up and start dropping bombs.
Chai's doing a great job of keeping Tasiken flat on the mat. It's something that you really don't want to be when you're in this kind of position. You want to get onto your side so you can become offensive.
Yeah, Chai's got a very heavy top game. He's very strong on top. Now he's just controlling in the top position, dropping a little bit of ground and pound. Good first round for Chai. Now, again, we do not score round by round, but if the match was stopped right here, how do you have this one going now?
Oh, I definitely think Chai takes this one. Great grappling exchanges. You see here he did a great job scrambling. He's working his way back to the top, staying safe not to get any submissions. And then he gets a beautiful takedown of his own here pretty soon. Oh, big overhand right by Tasiken. That was probably the punch of the fight.
Yeah, that is definitely Tasiken is having his opportunities in the striking exchanges, but when he gets into that clinch,
a big takedown though, big double leg takedown. That was the statement of the round for me, I think, and really established the pace for the rest of the round, getting on top and really establishing Chai's dominance throughout the round there.
Play coach right now. What do you got Chai doing? What do you think he should be doing in this second stanza?
I think, he needs to fake some striking and look to get back on top. He's clearly dominant there. And Tasiken is dangerous on the feet. You saw that big right hand that he landed. I would be telling my athlete to take this to the ground again.
Beautiful spinning back kick from Tasiken that puts Chai on his backside. Nice little headlock takedown there to reverse the situation. He's much more effective when he gets on top.
Well, I think we can imagine what Tasiken's coaches told him coming out in this round is that you really got to get after it, and he is doing just that. Spinning back kick to put him down, and really tenacious pace here in the second round.
He's got some serious strikes. When he throws and he does initiate first, he does very well. As we saw in the replay, he was able to land a big right hand, and now he's attacking the body with the spinning back kick.
Such good head movement, too. Tasiken's doing a great job of avoiding the damage of Chai. And Chai's throwing with power, but he's missing a lot.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it, but he actually started in his wrestling background. He went on to win several championships in freestyle wrestling, but Tasiken's best weapon seems to be the striking department.
Yeah, great right hand so far. That's been the story of this bout on the feet, at least. Really is that right hand of Tasiken. There it is again. Excuse me, that one was Chai's returning. There we go. Now Chai's beginning to return.
He wobbled Chai a little bit there. As you can see, that right hand coming right over the top, and that's Chai's best weapon. As he throws that overhand right, Tasiken was keeping his chin nice and tucked, but now it's starting to pop up in the air a bit. I think that's coming from excitement. But nice little exchanges there. That's dangerous when Chai gets in tight like that.
To notice that Chai is still a little bit more plotty than Tasiken. Tasiken's light on the feet. That leads me to think he's not so much thinking about the wrestling where Chai, is. He's plotty, and he's kind of still in the back of his mind thinking, after I hit him, I've got to find a way to get in.
But it's there. You can see how he closes distance. He throws that 1-2, and he's right there in position for a body lock takedown. Yeah. But he's not really choosing to go back to that. He did that successfully in the first round, but we're not seeing that here in the second. The right hand just landed again right there.
I think it might be coming. He's pushing forward. He's just waiting for the right opportunity for Tasiken to commit.
Go, fight!
Referee John Lai didn't believe the eye poke there and initiates the exchanges again.
It can be really difficult when you want to get someone to the ground and they're throwing with that kind of power, because you're so concerned about running into a punch. You make it so much more impactful if you miscalculate and you run straight into a punch. And I think that's what Chai is thinking about here, is he wants to get inside, he wants to get to the ground, but how? He's trying so hard to problem solve this right now. Tasiken doing a great job of keeping him guessing with that movement and the aggression to start this round.
That right hand is a trip hammer. It's slicing right through the guard. You can see Tasiken's got his hand nice and low, and that right hand is landed over and over again. He sets it up well with that hook.
Ooh, and Tasiken taking some damage, clearly wanting to enter and stop the onslaught from Chai.
Nice work.
That right hand was starting to land, and Tasiken gets that body lock. Now he's got him pressed up against the corner. What can Chai do from here?
Well, I think Chai is actually in a better position here. See, now, yes, he's beginning to lock. Now he's got his hands locked. He very well, there we are with the takedown.
Beautiful outside trip to get Tasiken back to the ground, and immediately he's flat on his back.
Watch the back of the head.
He's he's got his opponent's inside control, so he needs to spin into his side.
Guys, no
He needs
talking.
to turn onto that left shoulder and start working away. Look how much space is right there between their bodies. And he's just holding on, trying to keep that grip nice and tight.
Seems like Tasiken is a little unsure of how to get up safely here without losing position, because each time he has, as you see here, it seems like Chai gets into a better position. And that can be so frustrating as the athlete who's trying to get up. And ooh, is he under the chin here?
Catch. No catch.
Good job from Chai to work back to the, he was trying to get the back, but he went after the choke, and he didn't quite get it. Now, these guys are starting to empty their tanks as we approach the third round, because there is a lot at stake for these guys, because they get that shot to punch their ticket to the big show as Chai's working from the back control position. You gotta see Tasiken start to defend those hands.
Yeah, these exchanges are all happening so quick here. There's so much to break down. A beautiful knee. Wow.
Chai's just one step ahead in most of the grappling exchanges.
Right. Awkward position right here. It's not. This is what I'm talking about, the box of chocolates. You really never know what you're going to get, Mitch.
A pretty good second round. Again, Chai's coming out again in the second stanza. Misha, talk us through some of these highlights.
All right, here's the start the round from Tasiken. Is a huge spinning back kick, knocks Chai down to the ground, goes to follow up. And here are the right hands of Chai as he picked up some momentum through the latter half of the round.
Yeah, we got to see Tasiken start that round so furiously, so aggressive, but then as the round starts to go on, you can see the experience coming from Chai. Chai was able to slow it down, get that body lock, and work to the ground. Looks like the doctors are checking out the mouth.
Yeah, it looked like they were checking out some of his teeth right there. So I think the stakes are really high in this round. It's probably, I know we don't score round by rounds, but it's a 50-50 fight right now.
You think so?
I think it is. I think that it can be stolen here, I would say, by Tasiken. I would say Chai's a little bit ahead, but I think that Tasiken can steal it with that kind of momentum if he's able to keep that. But looks like we're having, what do you think's going on here, Mitch?
Looks like the doctor, Jimmy Wong, is taking a second look now at the possible mouth injury, I think, of Tasiken. I think it happened from some of those huge overhand rights, if it is an injury to the mouth. But that right hand of Chai Xiong was touching up Tasiken, and I think that's what this time.
It's a statement to the power, right? Okay.
It looks like he's good to go, and we will see a third round, because this is a pretty good matchup. And like you said, it could be anybody's game if Tasiken can put that pedal to the metal and start to put the heat on Chai Xiong.
See who starts out with what kind of pace in this round. That always says a lot. You know, who's got what left in the gas tank and in the heart. Going into the final round. I would say the first round is the athlete, usually the person who's more athletic can win that round, but the last round comes down to heart.
Nice body kicks landed by Chai Xiong. It sounded like we got the groin there, and I think that's what Chai Xiong was alluding to. But he's starting to go after the body right now with that left kick.
That looks like a weapon. Maybe his corner told him, hey, it's open, it's available, let's try this technique. it's always so interesting to see how the athletes progress and how experienced they are in how they can adjust their game plans round by round like this. Powerful exchanges.
Oh, Tasiken shooting in for the double leg takedown. Good defense there from Xiong as he works his way again to the back.
Body lock, and he's so strong here. You have to know that Tasiken is very frustrated now. He has Chai's hands locked around him, and he's probably going down here. Yep.
Now you can see that he's not even defending the hands, Misha. You know, you can see that he's choosing to slap the legs, go to the elbows to the back of the head. I mean, you've competed, you've been in there, you know the wrestling better than anybody out there. What do you think what is he doing wrong?
Well, he's not hand fighting. That's something that he needs to try to break the grip. That's the first thing. So, you know, he's just making a mistake here. He's gotten a bit away from his wrestling, and sometimes that happens as wrestlers transition to mixed martial arts. They get so excited by the something shiny aspect, you know, getting to be a striker and punch someone, and they forget sometimes the fundamentals.
You know, that's something shiny. You know what it's like to come off of a bunch of submissions, submitting people, beating people up round and round, but then you got your first head kick KO, and you got a little taste of what it's like to knock somebody out. So how does that change things for an athlete?
It definitely changes things. I mean, as you know, every bout changes something, whether you win or you lose. It changes, you grow, you learn. And now we see here Chai getting this bout back to the ground where he's been so dominant.
Good explosion there from Tasiken to work his way back up, and that seems to be his big thing.
Hands are locked. I bet he's going for a ride here. Now, if Chai can lift and kind of get those legs free, he's going to spin him right back down to the ground.
Nice little takedown there from Xiong. He's really effective inside that body lock. Once the hands are locked, it's almost a no-brainer that Tasiken's going for a ride.
Again, Tasiken should be, pushing the head down. Here we go. Now this is more what we need to see, and not allowing those hands to get locked. Because again, once they get locked, then it's time for a ride.
But he lands well. He's kind of like a cat, as far as like his ability to turn his body. Make sure he ends up on his all fours and he's able to pop right back up.
He's finding more success with that in this round. It just might be too little too late.
Stop.
Because he was cruising earlier. We saw that flying through the air a few times.
Referee Jonathan Lai has called a halt to the action because of the illegal elbows to the back of the head delivered by Tasiken there to Xiong. And I do believe it's going to be depends on what the referee's going to call this one. I don't think it's an injury timeout. I think it's just going to go. Doctor's going to check him out on the illegal strikes. Again, this is going to be a nice little breather for Tasiken, who is getting outworked there at a lot of that body lock controls.
Yeah. Anytime that the athletes can get a little bit of a breather like this, especially the one that's not injured, it can sway things a little bit. So, yeah, clearly some strikes to the back of the head. We were concerned here with athlete safety, so that's why this rule is in place. You're not supposed to attack behind clearly the back of the head or the spine. And you get hit in the back of the head, the damage just kind of compiles more, and it's a sensitive area because that's all the nerve endings of where the spine is. So you really can do, damage beyond, I think, just what we're looking for here in a martial arts bout. So we don't want the athletes to sustain serious injury, if at all possible, so we always make that an off-limits area.
Now, an athlete is allowed up to 5 minutes for recovery, and since we are past the halfway point of this particular 3-round match, if the match was stopped or he was unable to continue, the match would go to the scorecards, but you can see he's trying to land to the ear there, but then the last elbow was clearly, you have to make contact to the ear if you're going to strike the side of the head, and you could see clearly that last strike was located right behind the ear.
And I don't think that Tasiken meant to do that, I think when you're in the bout like that, I think it was so close. I really believe he was aiming to be in the right position, but it's difficult sometimes. So as I'm watching the replay, the first two were in the right position, and then there was just a small movement, and the last one ended. See, those were both legal, and that last one just came at the wrong angle. It does happen, unfortunately.
But you can see
Chai kind of turned his head.
Turned his head ever so slightly right as he was initiating that throw. So it is an injury timeout. They are allowed the duration of 1 round for recovery, and if they don't, if they are unable to continue, we will go to the judges' scorecards because we are past the halfway point. And in such a closely contested match, how do you see it going so far?
I think if the bout were to be concluded at this point, I would definitely say that the red corner, Chai, has won this bout with his wrestling and dominance on the ground. He also came in the latter half of the first and second round with some great overhand rights that actually had Tasiken wanting to shoot himself, but really didn't find much success in his wrestling in this match. So
yeah, he was punched in the face, and he changed his mind real fast about striking, going for the double leg takedown.
Yeah.
And Chai Xiong was able to stop that, you know, and looked pretty good, you know, overall. He just needs to polish a few things up. I think both these guys are. And I don't know if he is going to be able to continue. We might have to go to a technical decision and hand this one off to the judges.
I guess we'll have to see what happens here. But, you know, Tasiken, he's got it in his mind right now that he has some time. I think he's hoping that this will continue because...
Now, the athlete is allowed up to 5 minutes for medical examination and recovery. If an athlete is unable to resume in the allotted time, an official decision will be given. And because we are past the halfway point, we will go to the judges' scorecards at this particular time. Let's take a look at it again, Misha.
All right, this replay again. First elbow, second elbow's legal. And then you see Chai kind of turn his head away. So really not the fault of Tasiken whatsoever. Actually, that was really more dictated by Chai, so I'm glad that they're not taking this away from Tasiken. I don't think it was intentional on his part at all.
Okay, it looks like we are headed to the judges' scorecards, and I think Chai was raring to go. He was trying to get ready, but the doctors didn't quite give him the okay. A athlete's safety is our #1 priority here in One Championship, and we want to make sure that he continues to compete another day. But according to Misha Tate, she sees it the way of...
I see it the way as Chai. I think that he did enough in this bout. I think overall his riding time, every wrestling exchange really came out to his dominance, and position on the ground was primarily controlled by him the entire bout. And I think it was competitive on the feet. I might give Tasiken the edge. The aggression, that big spinning back kick to lead off the second round was quite impressive, and he had some great jabs and right hands, but I don't think it was enough for him to get this decision. So I guess we'll see what the judges have to say. You never really know.
See referee John Lai trying to get the athlete back to the center of the ring to announce the winner here. Chai definitely seems really concerned, really upset about not being able to continue, but it looks like we will have a possible unanimous decision victory out of the red corner for Chai Xiong to improve his record and look to compete another day. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are just getting started here from Shanghai, China. Mitch Chilson alongside the champion, the one and only